Hey, you're in the Fishnet. I'm Garrett Hallfish. We're here with the illustrious Alex Hartwig. This is going to be the first of a conversational series of all things video games, movies, TVs, comics, and everything else. So we've got a catcher today for you. Alex, why don't you start us off?
I want to talk about competitive gaming and how it's kind of evolved in our day and age, but specifically with us and how we've grown up with it. And I wanted to talk about just you. Where did it start for you? How did it begin?
All right, so I guess when I was a little kid, sometimes, when I think of actually competing, I specifically remember growing up with my friend Danny McCabe, and every day after school we'd go to his house and hook up the N64, and we'd start playing Super Smash Bros. Of course, and it was just so much fun just fighting each other. And I'm never good at fighting games. Fighting games in general, so bad. Street Fighter, I don't even play it because it's no contest.
I know.
So it was just always fun to play with him, especially when Melee came out years later. That's when I finally start kind of competing with him, because me and Dr. Mario, we were soulmates. Only with Dr. Mario it was weird. I didn't understand it. But no, it was a lot of fun. Kind of playing against your friends, with them right next to you. You might get heated. There might be a lot of screaming, but it was just a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I had a similar thing for when we first started competing. When I was a kid, it was probably Smash Brothers, GoldenEye, maybe a few other games mixed in, maybe Perfect Dark, but usually it was Smash Brothers because it was just so easy, and you can always have 4 people, and it was just you know who you're good at,
yeah. You
know who you're really bad at, and you just avoid them. But for me, I was always playing as Kirby. I loved Kirby because he was so easy, and I was younger than all my other friends. I was the youngest, and I sucked at most of the games we played. GoldenEye, I'm pretty sure people would just look at my screen just to find me, just to kill me, because they knew they would kill me instantly. It didn't matter if I was odd job, somehow they would kill me. I would just die. It didn't matter. And, I mean, I still liked it, but I sucked.
Well, and with GoldenEye specifically, that was one of the enjoyments about competing with friends, locally. Because, people call it screen cheating, but everyone kind of did it. It was part of the game.
It was fun.
It's something you can't get with online.
No, online is just too... it's too heated, just too serious.
Yeah.
For me, eventually I played Halo 1 and Halo 2, and we still played, not online, but it's because my friend didn't have the online capabilities until later. Right. And when he did, I could just tell, things were just it's about winning. And if you lost, it sucked. But before then, it was just you win, great.
Yeah.
Let's play another round. But before, it was you win, that's not good enough.
Right.
You need to win more. So it started getting strange for me back then, but I enjoyed playing with my friends mostly when I was younger. I think that was the greatest experience.
Yeah, yeah. And for me personally, I guess a lot of that happened centered around Nintendo games. Growing up with mainly Nintendo consoles. We had a PS2, but we didn't have any fighting games for it. We had, I think, closest we got to a fighting game, which I wouldn't call a fighting game, is Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah, that's not really fighting.
No, but you're competing against each other.
Kind of. It's fun.
And I could own at that, but...
You're really good at that?
Yeah. I know, my mom bought it as a kid. I don't know. I was competing against other people my age.
I want to play right now. Let's just
roll it out anymore. That sucks. But no, it's just I don't know, just something about so for me,
Mario
Kart was a great example where it could keep the ball rolling just because you have all those different tracks, and so
you can just keep going.
Especially when you have friends you and me are about equal levels, I would say, in Mario Kart.
Oh, okay, maybe now we are.
All right. What I like about it is you're always fighting for that first, but when you're with someone who's at your level, you're always jumping between who's actually going to be on top that round, and it changes from track to track.
I feel now it's different though. When we were younger, though I didn't know you when I was younger, I always felt competing wasn't this thing where it was you need to win. Now it's you're bettering yourself and you're better. Like it seems too serious. Maybe it's because we're older,
Yeah.
but I feel like it also is just the culture of just competitive gaming now. It's just so different than when we were younger.
It's definitely how the medium has evolved. There's always been in gaming, kind of two different subsets. There's been competitive gaming, like, arcade games. Dance Dance was not one of the first ones, obviously, but just the idea of fighting games and stuff. And then there's been the idea of games that you play by yourself that have kind of taken it more to be a artistic medium. And what's happened over time is at least in my view, is that people taking competitive games more seriously, that's whatever. But our generation is one that just loves the idea of irony, I guess. And so as games got more popular, like I think, Ocarina of Time and Mario 64 are ones that I remember just because of when I grew up, people increasingly would start to shoehorn the idea of the one-player game you played in the privacy of your own home and enjoyed as a piece of art into the competitive lens by doing things like speedrunning. And I guess part of what was enjoyable to people was the idea that they were kind of breaking the game or playing it in an unusual way, mashing through the B button when the Goron was talking or whatever in Ocarina of Time, watching Mario make those stupid noises, jump into the lava to get the short. I don't know, but now it's moved on to kind of like post-irony where it has affected the way the developers make the game. Where all these Nintendo games now that are 2D, they're 3D games, but they're kind of shoehorned one to this 2D platformer thing, and two, they add like a time run, what's it called? Time.
Speedrun.
Yeah, well, they did
No,
like
they
time
call it-
trials, time
That's
trials.
what something like that.
Yeah, they try to be like, go as fast as you can.
Yeah, where there's like, in Donkey Kong Country Returns, there's 3 tokens for each level, and one of them is whether you can beat it within the prescribed time limit. And as soon as that happens, first of all, I think I grossed out by it because I think it takes away from the idea of games being, a piece of art. But even people who like speedrunning don't like it because it perverts what they want to do. It perverts their wanting to kind of break the game and play it in a way that they think is different and creative, I guess. So it's kind of bad for everyone.
But I guess at the same time, though, it's like you look, like if you went to an old arcade, you would see, you go to an arcade stand and they would have like all the different high scores for like Galaga. Like you have everyone's points and just going down the ranks and you just say who's on top.
Well, I think those were different games. Now we have these games with stories. Galaga, I don't really know what the story was.
You're just fighting.
I also felt like with that, there's almost an element of community that's very nice. It's like an anonymous community thing going on where it's like everybody plays the game and it's like, wow,
it's kind of local too.
It's local. It's like, wow, that guy's really good. I should try to beat his score. And that's like a really creative culture that I feel like I was kind of born too late to experience. But I like that idea a lot because I think that it kind of incorporates the same spirit of like couch co-op, which is a bit of a dying breed now, and puts it into a competitive arcade game kind of thing. Like, I know it was an arcade game, but I think of like Star Fox 64 as being like, at the end you enter your name.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in a similar idea to that is it's not quite for like competitive games, but like trophies in general or like achievements.
Yeah, achievements.
One thing that's
also evolved.
Well, like I do kind of enjoy like every once in a while like saying like, oh, I got like a little trophy, but like for me personally, I don't go out of my way to try to like achieve some of those trophies.
I don't.
Because like I feel like it sucks the fun out of it if you're just like, oh, like fly 3,000 feet or kill so amount of this enemy.
But you will pre-order all the real life trophies and get all the amiibos.
Okay, amiibo, they're not like trophies as it unlocks. They're just little figurines.
I think they're real life unlockables. So.
Real life.
I don't know. Collecting amiibo is not quite the same thing as collecting trophies.
I agree.
Because the trophies, when you go to your friend's house, you don't like, oh, I want to see like all your trophies, and you don't. Even though they have it, so you can compare your friend's trophies to your own. Like I never really look at it unless I want to see what my friends are playing.
You do that?
Yeah,
you do that to me?
Yeah, I just be like, oh, I was like, what games do you have?
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, you have some pretty bad ones.
No, I don't. They're also
they're not all good. But no, it's like unlocking the achievements is just
it gets a little much. I agree. At first, to me, it's like, oh, I've unlocked something. Good, like hooray me! But then after a point, it's like, what am I doing with myself? I've put in like 30 hours trying to unlock something that's just going to show up on my list of trophies. I don't know. It gets to a point where it's a little much, and I think that also is where leading me into just like what I grew into was like just excess competitive,
right?
Which I think just has recently blown up, and is kind of disturbing to me because. I mean, I didn't really even know it. I played so much League of Legends. God, I played way too much. But
I didn't see you for like the first year of college.
That's not true. But the thing is, I played it a lot. Whenever I had like alone time instead of just watching TV.
Right, it was like the only game you were pretty much playing.
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah. For the most part, I didn't really play much else. And the thing is, it's not even a very good game. It's not. Sure, it's well designed for what it is. It does its job. It's really competitive, but God, the community is just really toxic and just like everyone's just bashing everyone else. You suck. I'm great. You suck. And it's just like even people that you'd be friends with outside, you wouldn't really know if you're going to be friendly with them in the game because sometimes you'd have friends that are just like so overly competitive during those types of things. And for me, it was a little much. I mean, I got really competitive at that point, and I'm glad I kind of stopped.
That competitive you suck nature doesn't even just extend to League of Legends. I mean, just like the ideas of the consoles in general. Like the console wars, where you got the Nintendo fanboys, the Sony fanboys, Microsoft fanboys who really only like their system, and even though like some like I enjoy games on Sony, there are a few games I want to play on Xbox. I don't own an Xbox. Like I love Nintendo, love Sony. And I'm very open to all sorts of games. I play some PC games, I play some mobile games. But there's some people that are really close-minded and they get really competitive on the internet, saying like Sony sucks, Microsoft sucks, and they have all these really arbitrary reasons why. Like it's just like because of the resolution, or
sometimes it's pretty funny to watch.
Yeah, like I do admit, like I follow our amiibo on.
Of course you do.
Yeah, on Reddit, and it's like. Just because there's so many people bashing anyone that like interferes with their collecting nature, but just like people get so angry for the dumbest reasons. But it is enjoyable. It's like watching reality TV.
It kind of is. I feel like I feel like a lot of like just the community, video game community. I don't really know if it's even a community per se anymore, but I do know that whatever it is has become this really strange thing.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just trying to make sects out of them being like, okay, I've got this awesome thing
right
that you don't have. Look at me.
I don't know, it annoys me that like gaming has become largely an online experience now. So the community is if you go to a convention, you'll see the community there. If you go to some localized gaming shops, you might have community there. Like we go to Eastarland. We didn't really talk to anyone there, but like
we almost got sucked into a Yoshi's
Yoshi cookie.
Yeah, Yoshi cookie. Is it Yoshi's cookie? I don't know.
It was a tournament.
It was a tournament. They were going hard. I would have loved to join it. I don't know how to play. Apparently, you love the game, right?
No, I hate the game.
You should love that game.
It's a lame puzzle.
It's the best game.
We'll play later. It's not good. I do have it on one of these. I just have it on a Game Boy.
Then let's play it.
But no, it's like I don't know. Just like you do have some community there where like people are generally nice to each other and stuff like that.
I think the bigger community is what we're talking about, really.
Yeah, but the online community, like people don't want to play games with each other. They want to do face to face, and it really shows with kind of like how the industry has gone. Whereas like Nintendo is really one of the few people. I mean, there's some other games like Borderlands has it, but you can't do a lot of local co-op.
They kind of cut that out. Not cut it out, but it's like an afterthought.
Yeah, where it's like Borderlands is a great example where you can do split screen multiplayer, whereas like a game like Destiny, you can only compete online, and so you don't have that like connection of another person. Whereas you do have other connections, but it's like I really like the local feel.
I do too. I agree, but I mean, there's always the appeal of having that anonymity. Like, you don't know the other person. If you like, you don't have to be like in the same state. I mean, that's awesome. That's really cool, really interesting. But at the same time, it takes away like so much that I loved when I was a kid, specifically because
Right.
I would go to my friend's house and we'd be like, "Hey, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go to Alex's house. He's the only one in the neighborhood with a PlayStation, and he's the only one with 3 Extreme. It's not that good of a game, but it is. It's like and I think it was so much fun. It was like it's a racer that you can use skates, roller skates, and also it's like skateboards and bikes, and you could race, and it was fun. Not very good. The game stunk, but people would come over and we'd have a bunch of fun playing because we'd be with our friends. We would be there, and we would grow as like friends. Like,
Right.
I remember so many times. Like, to me, that's also part of the multiplayer co-op experience, being with your friends and enjoying a game, not just competing.
Right.
Dang.